and talk about unprogrammed appropriations, another fun topic. So, of course, the House also, Congressman, rejected your proposal for zero unprogrammed appropriations. What did you think?
Well, of course, I was disappointed with the outcome, but I can't say that we didn't expect it. I think this kinds of change, unang-una, marami tayo rin naman nakuha ang tagumpay dito. Dati hindi alam ng publiko ano ba yung unprogrammed appropriations na yun. Hindi man lang yan pinag-uusapan. Ngayon ay talk of the town siya. Halos lahat ng media nag-interview sa amin at sa ibang mga kongresista, yun ang tanong. And it's good that we shine light on this dahil ito yung naging paraan noong huling budget na naipasok yung mga iba't ibang mga proyekto na naging later na-realize natin ay naging ghost projects ng flood control. At hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin natin alam yung kabuuan yan. Kasi so far, yung iniimbestigahan ng ICI ay flood control lang. Wala tayo sa ibang mga infra that were funded by the previous budgets, especially the 2025 budget. For example, farm-to-market roads. Ngayon lang lumilitaw na meron palang ghost din doon. Yung issues ng iba't ibang mga infra. At even in terms of health, yung lumabas about the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. Itong mga bagay na ito really are a wake-up call for the entire government that the government has to take drastic measures to really make sure that this don't happen again. And one very good measure could have been the zeroing out the unprogrammed appropriations. Kumbaga, clean slate, mula ngayon, sige, kung kailangan natin magbalik ng unprogrammed in the future, let's do it the right way. Because when you look at it, prior to 2022, while there were unprogrammed, never siya umabot sa ganitong kalalaking bilyon-bilyones na hundreds of billions na nilalagay nila dyan. Second ay yung marami doon ay nangyari hindi during the NEP, hindi during the Budget Deliberations House, kundi sa BICAM na.
BICAM.
Yes. And third, when at least ngayon sabihin natin at ang sabi ng Mayorya, bumaba naman daw yung halaga, nasa 250 billion or 240 billion compared to last year, which is much higher. But nonetheless, they said that if you look at it, the bulk of that 240 plus billion are foreign assisted projects. Now, foreign assistant projects don't happen overnight. Matagal yan pinag-uusapan, matagal yan pinagplaplanuhan. So, dapat yan, big ticket yan, dapat nasa regular budget yan. Unang-una para ma-scrutinize ng Congress, pangalawa para maayos pati yung paglabas ng pondo. Because it's only when they're programmed, that's why it's called program, that money is already set aside for the use of that project. Ngayon, ang sabi sa amin nung inilabas namin yung issue na yan, kasi hindi daw umabot sa deadline yung pag-submit ng papers ng Executive Department, kaya hindi nila nailagay sa regular line items at nilagay na lang sa unprogram. Ako, para sa akin, napakababaw ng dahilan na yan. To me, are we rewarding negligence on the part of the Executive Department? Or are there other motives involved? If they wanted to clear the air and make sure that there's no other issues involved, then dapat nilagay na nila sa program, regular budget yan.
In fact, Congressman, yung mga donors, yung donor community, karamihan sa kanila, kapag nagbigay sila ng ODA, meron silang monitoring yan quarterly. Ganyan kahigpit sa mga yan, yung implementation ng project na pinupondohan ng taxpayer nila. Kailangan meron silang report quarterly. Ano nangyari dito sa natin? Kaya medyo naguguluhan kami. Bakit tayo walang counterpart funding? Nasigurado, hindi ba? That's one issue actually. It's being talked about now in yung natin dito, yung diplomatic community na may problema sila. But anyway, I'm going to ask you, ano pong tingin nyo dun sa depensa naman ng Malacanang na hindi daw pwedeng walang unprogrammed appropriation? Talaga ba pwede yun? I mean, Tama ba yung argumento na yun? Hindi daw pwede.
Ako'y nagtataka kasi I came across in early August an interview by the President himself where siya mismo ang nagsabi, ay naku, mga foreign assisted projects, dapat nasa regular budget yan. Siya mismo nagsabi nun. And yet, nung nag-call kami for zero program appropriations, yung kanyang spokesperson ang nagsabi na hindi, kailangan na meron yan, hindi pwedeng i-zero out. But I didn't get an answer to why it has to be there. Because ang sagot ko naman dyan, kung talagang kailangan ng additional funds, madali naman magpasa ng supplemental budget kung isa-certify ng Pangulo as urgent yung batas na yon. Second, kung ang issue naman ay calamity or disaster, meron na tayong contingent fund. Hiwalay yan sa program. Nasa lump sum na yan. Meron din tayong NDRRM fund for disasters. So that cannot be the reason either.
Akala ko yung contingency kasama dun sa unprogrammed.
Yan yung sinasabi nila. Pero kung titignan natin yung budget, na meron nang nakalaan dyan na nasa what they call, dalawa yan, a contingent fund and then the other is a disaster.
Yes.
Dati yung contingent fund nasa OP. I don't know if it's still there eh. Remember that time? But
Hindi, may
that was a long time
sariling
ago.
contingency ang OP.
So, hiwalay.
Meron sila.
Yeah. I think that's separate, di ba?
Yes.
Oo,
Okay.
meron sila. So kaya nagtataka ako, bakit kailangan mo na unprogrammed appropriations ostensibly for emergencies?
But-
Kung meron ng mga contingency fund din, yung halimbawa, Office of the President.
But Congressman, is it also not true that yung unprogrammed appropriations, hindi naman talaga siya masama inherently? It's not wrong per se. Just like the word insertion and what's the other one that we were talking about? Amendments, errata.
Yes, yes.
It just took on a negative connotation because of this scandal. Pero the idea behind it, back in the day, was sound, right?
Yes, ang noon kasi prior to 2022, for example in around 2016, 2017, 2018, meron yan. Umaabot lang yan ng mga around 60 billion at most, more or less ang amount. Ngayon, bakit may unprogrammed? Pang ano yan standby yan na in case may excess revenue, may excess na makolekta ang ating pamahalaan, doon gagamitin yung kung ano man yung ilalagay doon sa unprogrammed appropriations. But given the situation we have today, I don't think it's good fiscal discipline for the government to park 250 or 240 billion pesos worth of people's money in unprogrammed appropriations.
Parang ang dami nating excess revenue, no?
Oo.
Pero always having a shortfall, tapos ngayon parang ang dami
And then
excess revenue.
at the same time, there's an idea to cut VAT, take it down to 10%. I was gonna steer slightly away from unprogrammed and ask you what your assessment was of how Appropriations Chair Mika Swansing has been handling all of this. Because of course she's young, she's untested, and this is such a crucial time in the House, right? So how do you think she's been handling all of these budget hearings?
Well, kudos to Representative Swansing. She really worked very hard. And I could see that she really did everything to make the budget process work. And hindi naman nila inachapuera yung minority in the sense that we were given full leeway to interpolate and to question the different agencies and departments. Yun lang, we know that we're coming from the minority. Our views are very different and even our mindsets very different from the majority. Talagang kami sa minorya, lalo na ang the group we call the Reform Bloc, that's the Akbayan and some of our colleagues like Congresswoman Laila De Lima, we were absolutely shocked by what came out of the Senate and House hearings on the flood control. And since that related directly to the budget, we felt that it was so important that we have a clean, transparent budget where there is accountability. Kaya talagang pinupush namin yon. Now, syempre, ibang mindset ng majority. So there was a big difference of opinion, and that was shown eventually at the end by the votes that came out when we moved to zero out the unprogrammed appropriations.